The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com present Lincoln Community High School Rail Splitter Basketball. WLCN's live stream video coverage of Railer basketball is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Me Realty, locally owned and operated. Me Realty is Logan County's top producing real estate agency year after year. Call 217-735-5424 or browse listings online at merealty.com. Culver's of Lincoln, home of the Butterburger. Stop by before or after the game, located at 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Heartland Community College is Lincoln's community college. At Heartland, you'll get the personal attention and support you need to be a successful student. Discover Heartland, discover your future. Visit heartland.edu/Lincoln. Schneider Masonry, family owned and operated in Central Illinois with over 40 years of experience, serving builders, contractors, and homeowners. Free estimates available. Call 217-314-9654. Blades Nail and Hair Salon, located at 241 Madigan Drive in Lincoln, offering salon services for hair, skincare, waxing, nails, lashes, and brows. Go online to bladeshairandnailsalon.com or call 217-732-7213. Thank you for watching WLCN's coverage of Lincoln Community High School Rail Splitter Basketball.
Back here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium at Coach Neil Alexander Court, you're in the Grau Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, getting set for the Railers 1-0 on the season, taking on Apollo Conference foe, the Braves from Mount Zion, who also came into the contest 1-0 on the season. Josh Komnick, happy to be joined by Jay Harden and Lloyd Kirby manning the camera, so we know the camera quality will be much better than Monday night, that's for sure. Jay, nice to have you back. I know you followed the game on Monday night through our YouTube channel, and good to be back with you.
Hey, good to be back with you too, partner. And Scott Kirby on assignment tonight. We call it on assignment when we don't know where he's at. So Scott's gone tonight, but he's going to be back for the weekend. Glad to fill in for him tonight. Tell you what, that was an interesting game Monday night between Lincoln and Cahokia. We looked like a totally different team than last year, and we probably should with the experience that we've had. I thought we looked a lot more mature physically and mentally, Josh. We looked just as a good basketball team should on Monday night against Cahokia. We played good defense and good offense, too.
Yeah, I thought we handled the ball a lot better than I kind of was anticipating, which was nice to see. So you're going to see a different team here tonight in the Braves. Very, very talented guards up front, and they're young. I think two sophomores will be in their starting lineup in the Custer and the Driscoll kid, number 2 and number 11. Lincoln Custer had 23 points last night. I believe just a sophomore, and the Driscoll kid's just a sophomore. So they will see pressure. The Railers will see pressure tonight as good as we'll see all year.
But they returned most of their starting cast and supporting cast from last year too, Josh. They were a young team last year, and if my memory is right, you and Scott called a game here at Roy S. where we won by 2 that I think we were ahead by a pretty good margin, and they came back on us and made it a very close game, and then we hung a 10-point loss on them over at Mount Zion, 55-45. Scored 55 points in both games against them last year, and we hung up 69 on Cahokia. They hung up 69 on Althoff. It's going to be a very interesting basketball game tonight. They are a big basketball team, not maybe bulk-wise, but height-wise, they're pretty good sized.
One thing to note, I believe, as far as what we heard on Monday, is their best player, Carson Cuddy, is out with a twisted ankle from practice, so he did not play Monday. maybe it drastically got better over the couple days, but from what I hear, that he will not be suited. He's suited up. He's going to take warm-ups, but I don't think he'll play tonight, which obviously gives the Railers a even better chance. But like I said, he may come back and try to fight it out here tonight.
It does, and I'll tell you what, the big guy had a big game for Lincoln Monday night, looked much more mature physically and mentally. His footwork, I thought it improved, and I'm talking about Peyton Cook with a double-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds. He looked awfully good out there on Monday night.
Yeah, he'll have to be good for us all year, Jay. He's going to. I thought that's really what he's going to have to bring every game for this Railer team to be really good this year. 18 points, and if he can get to that double digit, that double-double will be great. But if he can get 6-7 rebounds a game, that opens up a lot for everybody else.
3 guys in double figures on Monday night, and you had Drew Hayes who had 9, and then Trey Schilling had 7. So you almost had 5 guys in doubles. Trey Schilling's going to shoot better than what he did Monday night. He was 2 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 6 from the three-point line. But you made a point of saying you thought Drew Hayes was a key to our success Monday night. Drew Hayes needed to play more aggressively. He did Monday night and ended up with 9 points. We need that from him probably every game to succeed.
Yeah, 3 guys in double figures, and you said that, like you said, Jay, Drew with 9. So, man, if you can get that every night, and I know you're going to see a lot different competition here as the season goes on, but you'll have to have a supporting cast. We're not going to have that guy that's going to go get you 25 or 30. Everybody's got to be bringing it every night.
No, and I'll tell you what, Josh, on the defensive end, we can put some quickness on the floor along with some size. In fact, I was thinking about this the other night. The size that we have and can put out front, if we could put Hayes, if you got Saucy in the basketball game and Cook in the basketball game, that may be a front line probably about as big as we've seen, except maybe for, probably since the time you played when you had Zach Lee and Brian Cook and Gabe Rutledge on the front line.
Yeah, we've got good size, and we talked about it on the postgame with Coach Al on Monday. A good bench play from those guys. He brought in, played 9-10 guys the other night in the game, and I think he feels comfortable. It's kind of one of those things where if somebody's not on, you've got a guy sitting over there that could be.
You wonder, Josh, if tonight, because it is a conference game, is going to have maybe a little extra special meaning to both teams. This is a good chance to get off to a good start in your conference schedule by beating somebody else. And if Mount Zion could get us on our home floor, that really kind of helps them in the conference race. They're going to be a good basketball team this year.
We've kind of formed the rivalry. Lanphier, as we were in the Central State, it was kind of with the Railers. This has kind of formed a rivalry. I know football, baseball, and obviously basketball is in it too. So this has kind of been the rival along with Muhammad, I think, in basketball too. So there's no question both teams will be ready to go here tonight.
The starting lineup surprise you on Monday night? Ours?
Maybe. Just because Coach is kind of a creature of habit. He likes to go back with the guys that he's had. But, we talked about it the other night where, the guys are performing in practice, or some guys aren't performing in practice. And when you don't have a game or games to go by, you've got to go by what's happened in practice, and that's what he's done.
And I'll tell you what, when you can bring a guy like Tyler Saucy off the bench who can hit shots, who's got size and strength, you're really, you're not losing a whole lot by bringing in your bench. And I thought our bench did a heck of a job on Monday night coming in and giving quality minutes.
Bringing in 2 former starters from a year ago, in Gowan and Saucy. So what a luxury Coach Alexander has. I believe, his 48th year behind the out-of-bounds line, so he's coached a long time. He'll figure it out, that's for sure. We're going to take a break here. 16 minutes. Both teams are out on the court. The Railer band is in the house tonight. Roy S. filling up, and we're going to have a good one here for you folks in just a couple minutes. 16 minutes on the clock. Back with more pregame show. You're in the Growl Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer basketball.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Mom was always very self-sufficient, but we started noticing things were off.
Alzheimer's, it was hard to hear that.
Early detection gave us time to seek information and support.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Culver's is a family restaurant. Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Guys.
Welcome back, Railer Nation, here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium at the 2022 Eaton Electrical Round Robin Tournament for the Railers. Getting set to take on the Braves from Mount Zion in Apollo Conference action tonight. This will be an Apollo Conference game. Kind of frees up the Railers for another non-conference game throughout the regular season. So I think both coaches agreed that we'll play this as a conference game, although early in the year. We'll see what happens. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. Josh Connick, Jay Harden, and Lloyd Kirby manning the camera here. And again, the Railers 1-0 on the season. The Braves also 1-0. The Railers took on Cahokia, the Comanches. Victorious Monday night, 69-22. Mount Zion won 67-42 over Belleville Althoff, and we had some of the leading scorers for Mount Zion, and we went through the Railers. Cookie led the way for the Railers on Monday, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 of 7 from the free throw line to give him 18. Camden Nelson, the three-point shooter for the Railers, the senior, 4 of 6 from three-point land. He had 14 points. Aiden Gowan finished with 11. Sophomore Drew Hayes with 9 to lead the Railers. The Railers shot 25 of 48 for 52%, 7 of 20 on the three-point line, 35%. And Jay, something I think that the Railers will be better at than we were last year. I think just about a 67% free throw shooting team last year, 12 of 16 on Monday night.
And that comes sometimes, Josh, with playing maturity and strength, is being able to step to the line and hit those freebie shots. And we've got to knock those down to win basketball games. So, Josh, it's time to check tonight's list of the games sponsored by Me Realty. List your home with Me Realty when it's time to sell. And if you're looking to buy, check the listings at merealty.com. So, Mr. Connick, Mr. Coach, Mr. Player, what's your keys to the game tonight?
Well, I think this one will stick with me all year long is ball handling and pressure. Can we handle the pressure? It showed well on Monday, but Cahokia just didn't give us a whole lot of pressure tonight. We'll find out if we can handle the ball, if we found a point guard, or if we found multiple guys that can help out Keon back there when he's starting to handle the ball. Custer and Driscoll will put plenty of pressure full court on whoever's bringing up the ball for the Railers. And then I think rebounding, we've got to attack the boards. Did a good job on Monday. The Railers with 31 total rebounds, out-rebounded Cahokia 31-22. What I did like also, Jay, is 10 offensive rebounds for the Railers on Monday. Cookie had more offensive rebounds than he did defensive, 6 and 4.
And I was going to ask you about that. He probably could have had far more than 10 rebounds. There were a number of basketballs he got his hands on but lost.
Yeah, a lot of tip away.
Yeah.
maybe some of that to do with first game, I think, but experience, you'd like to see the seniors doesn't get as jittery as the ball game goes on. Everybody gets the jitters when you first start, but you're right. He had a few tip off his hands, and I think, Coach would like to see it. He even talked about in the postgame of going up and just trying to rip that thing away with both hands. And can the Railers continue to shoot it? Nelson shot it well from three. Do we have that other guy that can fill it up, or when we need a big basket? Gowan didn't shoot it particularly well. Trey shot one here in the first quarter right in front of us that got us going. But do we have enough shooting? And hopefully Cookie can keep going.
Coach talked about it last year about the team being offensively challenged, and we saw that throughout the entire year. They only averaged 43 points a game the whole year. The defense carried them. They never put more than 60 on the board all last year. The first night they get 69. It looks like a team that might be better offensively and able to score. The question is, can they do it on a consistent basis?
Well, and a little bit better competition.
Yes.
Just Cahokia was kind of beat from the start the other night, and this will be, you hang 60 piece on Mount Zion and you got something to work with. So, we'll see what happens here. I do see their big guy moving around a lot better, so he may give it a go. Although, Jay, you said he's not in the starting lineup as we see that on the scoreboard, but he's moving around a little bit better than he was on Monday, so we may get a shot at a full-strength Mount Zion team. We're going to take another break. Be back here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Welcome back, Railer Nation, here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, getting set for the Railers and the Braves here on Thanksgiving Eve. Want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving for tomorrow, and we'll be back at it on Friday as the Railers will play at 8:15 Friday night against Belleville-Altough. Basketball here all day on Friday, 3 o'clock, Cahokia and Mount Zion. Mahomet, Seymour, and Danville at 4:45, Belleville West and Champaign Centennial at 6:30. And like I said, the Railers and Belleville-Altough at 8:15. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. Josh Comic, Jay Harden, Lloyd Kirby on the camera. And Jay, it's nice to be back with some basketball. A lot of it going on TV as far as college goes, but it's nice to be back here. We're going to see you next couple of Friday, and then obviously the Railers going to be here Saturday as well, and then be full strength after that.
Yeah, it kind of feels like we're finally back to normal instead of being semi-normal last year. But I think it's going to be a fun season, Josh. It was fun to watch these kids last year grow and improve, and I think hopefully we're going to see an even greater result from them this year. Won 25 games last year, and certainly have an opportunity to put many more wins on the board this year.
Again, the Railers in action tomorrow at 8:15, and then deciding on after all this gets done on Friday will determine when the Railers will play Saturday. So hopefully after Friday we'll have an idea after our game of where we'll be able to go.
And after tonight's game, you'd have to think that Belleville West has the inside track coming from the other pool, at least to be the number one team out of the other pool from the way they looked, unless they stumble against Champaign Centennial on Friday, and I don't see that happening.
That's going to wrap it up for us here on the pregame show. After word from our sponsors, Jay and I'll be back here in Lincoln as to bring you the play-by-play action as the Railers take on the Braves. As always, a big thank you goes out to all our sponsors. This has been the Josh Komnick, Grau Incorporated, and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Have
Have you ever seen somebody treated unfairly because of the color of their skin?
Do you guys know what it means to have white privilege?
What is racism and what do you think about it?
Talk to young children about what racism is, giving them the language to understand it. They can be disruptors. They can shape and shift culture.
We may not always know the answer, but we'll try and help you learn.
You don't have to have all the answers, but that doesn't mean we can't start.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Good evening, Railer Nation and fans across Central Illinois. This is Jay Harden along with Josh Komnick as we bring you tonight's contest, an Apollo Conference game, part of the Eaton Electrical Round Robin, as Lincoln 1-0 takes on the Braves of Mount Zion, also 1-0. This is the 20th meeting between the two schools since March of 1981 when, Josh, we saved Mount Zion from having to face number 1 rated Quincy over at Decatur Eisenhower in the sectional tournament. Dan Duff and Paul Kendrick led to a 16-point win over Mount Zion, the first ever meeting between the two schools, and since then we're 15-4 against them with 2 wins last year.
I knew you'd have something like that brought up that maybe no one else would remember after you brought it up, but forgot about it. But you have not.
I have a head full of useless information.
No, not useless. Everybody, I love to hear that kind of stuff. When back when who played and this guy played and what they did, and when teams reunite, and you had the all-time list. You always hear that the Bears and the Packers, who's had the all-time win. Of course, the Bears are, but yeah, no, I like to listen to that.
One hallmark of our program since basically 1981, and actually for a long, long time, has been the consistency of the Railer basketball program. It was only one losing season when you go back over the past some 40, 50 years, and you look at a team like Mount Zion, and they've kind of had a roller coaster. They've had some teams that have been very, very good, some teams that have been not so good, and I can remember, during about 2008, somewhere around in there, they made it to the Super Sectional. They had a couple of really good basketball players who went D1, and they've had some success, and it seems like they're back on an upswing right now.
It's funny how that happens. The Railers just stay consistent, I think, with just the work ethic and the town, and you kind of bleed that while you're growing up, and some towns are like that for different sports, football, baseball, and ours, for whatever reason, whoever started this a long time ago is basketball, and we just tend not to have that rebuilding year. It's just kind of reloading and see what we're going to do. We're going to get 20 wins, and we're going to go on and compete for a regional championship and hopefully get into a sectional. And when you got those special years, you might wind up in Peoria or Champaign.
It was season number 110 for Lincoln Community High School, and Josh, it certainly doesn't hurt that the guy sitting on the bench has 908 victories, going for 909 tonight.
Yeah, that and the model of consistency is him too. Just the work ethic that he puts in. I get a chance now to be not to be around it, but I bring my son to practice, and he's here, and he's here after I pick him up, and even for freshman or sophomore practice, he's here, and still. After we had our parent meeting, he's still washing the uniforms like he did when I was here. So, that when you have a consistent leader, you tend to have a pretty consistent program.
Folks, if you weren't watching or listening on Monday night, there was a very proud papa who is my broadcast partner when Carson Komnick got on the floor for 1 minute and 47 seconds of Monday night's game. I could tell you were a Ron Proud papa that night.
Yeah, it's pretty neat to see. He's played a lot of basketball. He's worked for this, so he's enjoying it.
And wearing your old number is an homage to his dad.
Yeah, I don't know if he was told to do that or if he really wanted to. I haven't got quite the truth on that yet, but But we'll take it.
Hey, we'll take it. And maybe we'll get to see Carson Komnick tonight, along with a whole cast of other ones for the Lincoln Rails players.
That'd be fun.
Mount Zion comes back on the floor. We're just a few seconds away from having the national anthem. Let's go ahead and send it back to the station for a 1 minute and 30-second timeout. When we come back, Josh will have the starting lineups for both teams, and we'll have the Chicago Street Rentals tip-off.
Donating pet food can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome to Neil Alexander Court in Roy's Anderson Gymnasium.
Welcome back, Railer fans. Getting set here for the Railers and the Braves here on a Thanksgiving Eve Wednesday night in Apollo Conference action. The Railers coming to the contest with a 1-0 record after taking care of Cahokia on Monday night. Starting lineups for the Mount Zion Braves. Mount Zion will be the home team on the scoreboard tonight in the white uniforms. Mount Zion, members of the Apollo Conference, with an enrollment of 741 students. They are coached by Mr. Dale Schuring. First man out, 5'10", and a sophomore, number 2, Sam Driscoll. 6'1", and a senior, number 3, is Cameron Clark. 6 foot and a junior, number 4, Makobe Adams. Their leading scorer, 6'3", and a sophomore, number 11, is Lincoln Custer. And 6'3", and a junior, number 12, Grant McAtee. Again, the Braves took care of Belleville Althoff 67-42 on Monday night to make them 1-0 here. So, Jay, it's not normal that we play a conference game this early in the year, but like Coach was talking about earlier and on the postgame, it frees his schedule up to get another non-conference later on.
It does, but he also mentioned Monday night he would rather have played them Friday night and gotten the 2 games in ahead of them than had to play them in the second game. But hey, we'll play anytime, anywhere.
You got to play them sometime, right?
That's right.
First man out for head coach Neil Alexander. 6'2" and a senior, 24 is Bivin. Jake Bivin. 18 points, 10 rebounds on Monday night. The leader, 6'7" and a senior, 34 is Cook. Peyton Cook. 5'11" and a junior, number 3, Schilling. Trey Schilling. 5'6" and a junior, number 10, Carson. Keon Carson. And 6'4" and a sophomore, number 30, Hayes. Drew Hayes, of course, under the direction of head coach Neil Alexander, assisted by Eric Ewald, Greg Alexander, Brandon Farmer, Josh J. McClellan, Zach Dom, and Gary Rademacher. We got a full strength schedule or coaching staff. We got enough guys over there too.
We got a college staff down there, Josh. All right, Railers in their road green uniforms. Josh, we're going to have to watch the scoreboard because our guys are on the home side of the scoreboard and Mount Zion's on the visitor side, but Mount Zion's wearing the white uniforms trimmed in black and red.
Getting set for the tip-off. The tip-off sponsor all season long is Chicago Street Rentals, located at 1909 North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln.
Macoby Adams, a 6-foot junior, going to tip it up, and it looks like Peyton Cook, the 6'7" senior, in the center circle as well. Boy, Christina Hinton did some weight work with Peyton over the summer. You can tell it, Josh, in his body.
I think all the bodies have gotten bigger and stronger, and that's part of maturation and the weight room becoming a little bit more important to these guys. And figured out when we played Muhammad in that regional championship, we just got beat up a year ago, and I think they took it upon themselves to not let that happen again.
A great crowd here on a Wednesday night. They're ready to rock and roll. So are we on WLCN FM 96.3, and a tip back to Drew Hayes. Hayes to Carson. Carson across the center line. Mount Zion in a man-to-man. Pop out Bivin. Bivin around his man. Kick out in the corner. Schilling out front Carson. Carson, top of the circle to Schilling. Back to Carson between the circles. Left wing Cook. Cook right in front of the bench. Now left wing Hayes. Cook deep in the corner. Back out front Carson. Railers being patient against the man-to-man. Carson the basketball. Carson. Schilling out to Hayes. Hayes looks for Bivin. There's Bivin between the circles. Looking inside for Cook. Cook has got position on Adams. Can't get the basketball. Out front Carson. Down the lane. Keon Carson kicks out Bivin to Schilling to Carson. Carson going to drive in the lane. Kick back out Cook. Cook out to Schilling. Schilling Hayes. Hayes. Cook. Cook three on the way. No good. Back of the iron. Rebound to Driscoll.
Railers trying to figure out a little bit of that man-to-man.
Driscoll, great pass inside to Adams, up and good. And right away, it's 2-0 Mount Zion.
Yeah, and they got it right in the middle early with a bullet pass from Custer. Custer left-handed, very small, but he's a pitcher on their baseball team, a really good one too.
Schilling the bomb out front, up, no good. Rebound, Cook skies for it, up and good. Peyton Cook with the aggressive rebound inside, held it up, didn't bring it down that time, Josh.
Great job. Six offensive rebounds on Monday night, Jay, and that's something that's different from him last year. He didn't go after that last year.
Driscoll, Custer, back to Driscoll, to Custer. Custer, and nearly threw the basketball away.
Custer can really fill it up. They're going to have to get out him from the three-point line, and he'll gun it.
Custer back out front, Driscoll. Driscoll left-handed shot up and good. Three on the way. He got it, and it's 5-2 Mount Zion. 6:14 to go here in the first period.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those regional championship atmospheres. You know, both teams fired up. You're going to see hopefully a really competitive game tonight.
Railer weave out front. There's Carson. Carson in the corner. Bivin. Bivin looked to drive. Back to Carson. Carson, Schilling. Schilling, Hayes, Cook. Now back out front, Schilling.
Well, look at him just lay off a Keon, too, and that's something that the coaching staff will have to pick up a little bit more. Can we get Camden in there a little bit earlier? Maybe Gowan to make Custer get out on somebody.
Cook out between the circles, thought about shooting it, and is going to get called for double dribble. Turnover against Lincoln. Ball will go to Mount Zion with a 5-2 lead, 5:39 to go here in the first quarter. Glad you joined us here on WLCN FM 96.3 and our YouTube stream. I hope the picture is great tonight. We got the ace cameraman behind the camera tonight, Lloyd Kirby, our producer engineer. He's looking around to see who else is running the camera. Out front, Driscoll. Sam Driscoll against the 1-2-2. Driscoll, Custer, a long bomb, 25-footer up, no good. Rebound goes to Schilling. Nice rebound by Trey Schilling.
Well, he did a good job on Monday, too, Trey, with about 4 or 5 rebounds on Monday. That's something he's undersized a little bit, but he does a good job of getting his body in position.
They go inside to Cook. He's double teamed. Back out Bivens. 3 on the way. No good. And that's really not Jake Bivens' shot off the left wing. Ball quickly ahead in a hurry. Ball batted away. Carson nearly had it. Ball batted around, and Cook picks it up.
Good hustle by the Railers there, tipped away, and a couple guys flying after it. Keon goes sky high for it and finally gets it over to Cook. So turnover about Mount Zion. The Railers got to get a basket.
Bivens out front, Carson. Carson goes to Schilling. Schilling trying to get a shot off, couldn't get it off. Hayes, Carson, Schilling. Bivens, Carson. Looking inside Cook. Carson deep in the right corner. Back out front, Hayes. Hayes to Schilling. To Carson. Carson kicks left wing Cook. Cook out front, Schilling to pop out. Looking inside, back out to Carson, left wing in front of the bench. 3 on the way, Schilling, no good. Rebound Mount Zion. Driscoll, and he stepped on the baseline. Got a break there, Josh.
Yeah, we are. Good shot by Schilling, just couldn't get it to go. So the Railers ran a nice play. It was really looked like it was supposed to go to Cook, but when Keon passes it in from the outside to Cook, that Custer's so far off of him that he's basically double teaming Cook.
Schilling to inbound the basketball under the Railer basket, out front Carson. Carson out at the volleyball line to Hayes. Goes in the corner, Cook. Cook kicks it out, Bivens. Bivens, Schilling. Schilling drives in, thought about the 15-footer, didn't take it. Carson going to drive down the lane, and the tree's up, no good. Ball batted away, and rebound goes off to number 3. That's Cameron Clark.
Yeah,
Clark
like
to Custer.
Adams got a little bit of a trip there on Keon as he was going.
Clark, the three-pointer up and good. And it's just like that, it's 8-2 Mount Zion with 3:41 to go here in the first quarter.
Couple threes, one by Driscoll and one by Clark.
Hayes, Carson, Schilling. And they're watching Schilling. They're not really wanting to let him shoot. Cook, 15-footer at the elbow, up and no good. And the rebound goes to Grant McAtee. McAtee to Driscoll. Driscoll nearly loses the ball. Schilling and going for it, and Schilling's going to get called for the foul. First one on Trey Schilling, first one on the Rail Splitters. It's first foul of the game. Subs coming in for Lincoln. Aiden Gowan and Cam Nelson in for Bivens and Keon Carson.
Yeah, you had a couple shooters, I think, to this team now. Then Keon and Jake go to the bench. They're a defensive guys, and now you've got Nelson in there who had several threes the other night.
Hayes, good defense, batted away, and Cook pulls it out of there. Cook quickly to Camden Nelson. Nelson out front, Hayes, goes to Schilling. Schilling in the corner, Cook. Cook out front, Nelson. Nelson looked to shoot it, didn't take it. Gowan will take the long 3. No. Back of the iron, and rebound off to Mount Zion. Driscoll up the floor quickly to Custer. Custer the fake, going to drive baseline, surrounded by Railers. Ball knocked away. Custer picks it up. Driscoll, the pass to Clark. Clark, McAtee lost the basketball. Hayes knocked it away. Good defense by Lincoln.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got Mount Zion sped up a little bit. They're kind of fumbling the ball around and not taking their time against the 1-2-2 like they have in past couple possessions.
Mount Zion will inbound right in front of the Lincoln bench, nearly on the baseline. McAtee to inbounds. We'll get it into Custer. Driscoll. The ball nearly stolen away by Nelson. McAtee, baseline Clark. He's going to feed it off to Adams. Adams is fouled.
Yeah, Nelson got caught as a baseline driver went opposite of him. Adams got good position in there, and Nelson didn't drop underneath the basket to take the basket away. So looks like Camden picks up the foul as he didn't allow the easy layup, so hopefully he misses a couple free throws. Up and good for Adams.
Jacoby Adams knocks down the first of 2 free throws.
Adams at the free throw line for Mount Zion.
Adams' second one up and no good. Rebound hauled out of there by Nelson.
Well, the Railers need a basket, Jay. I think we got one on our first or second possession of the game, and obviously haven't gotten one yet.
Schilling hounded by the Mount Zion defense. Ball knocked away from Nelson. He recovers. Looked like he got fouled, and he did. And Lincoln Custer, I think, is going to pick up his first foul.
Wow, and they're really aggressive. They're on their arms, and unless we sweep and get strong with the basketball, this is going to happen all night. And guys are going to have to be strong when they've got the ball against that pressure of Mount Zion.
Mount Zion going to go to their bench, and believe it or not, number 34 is J.C. Anderson, a 6'7" freshman.
Yeah, I know him really well. He plays with Carson, or had played with Carson in the summer for the travel basketball series. And remember that name, folks. He is going to be a big-time basketball player underneath. 6'7", probably, I guess he weighs 230 or 240, and really polished moves.
And number 23 in the basketball game, that's Owen Owens, also 6'7". So they go big with their lineup. Gowan out front, kicks it to Hayes. Hayes going to drive down the lane, in the trees, up and no good. Ball kicked out of there. Custer comes out of there with it, and he's in a hurry. Stopped by Gowan at the center circle. Pass to Driscoll. Driscoll shot out of the corner, up, no good. Gowan nearly chased it down. Ball knocked out of bounds. It went off of Mount Zion. Wow.
It looked like it went off Gowan to me, but Gowan gave a great hustle after it. Couldn't corral it, but from our view, it looked like he hit it out. So in need of a hoop here, 9-2 with 1:45 left.
Schilling out front, kicks left wing Nelson. Nelson guarded heavily by Custer. Goes to Cook. Cook tries to muscle his way down the lane. 3 guys on him. Schilling out front, Gowan. Gowan, Nelson.
Yeah, I like it.
Nelson is harassed all over the place out front.
I'd like to see Cookie take the freshman here and go to try to get to the basket.
Nelson, 3 on the way. Schilling, 3 on the way. No good. Rebound, haul out of there, Mount Zion. Driscoll. Custer back out front, Sam Driscoll. To Lincoln Custer. To Driscoll. Mount Zion running a high-low post with Owens and Anderson. Custer thought about taking the 3, going to drive down the lane, 10-footer up, no good. Ball batted around on the floor. Custer comes out of there with it, kicks it to Driscoll. Driscoll to Clark. Clark down the lane, up, and I think Josh is right. He traveled beforehand.
He traveled way before that, right when he took off.
But Schilling's going to get nailed with the foul, I believe. No, they called that one on Aiden Gowan. Okay.
3 fouls on the Railers, just 1 on Mount Zion.
Driscoll, and as Gowan, they're going to get him again. Yep. Gowan was right up there guarding him, and Driscoll, I thought, put an elbow out there, and they called Gowan for the blocking foul.
Yeah, if they're going to call that on our end, they've got to give that to us as well.
So Aiden Gowan going to have to come out of the game, and Coach Al has given the stare to the outside official. Custer, and it looks like Mount Zion might try and play for the last shot here of the first quarter, up 9-2, 44 seconds to go. Clark kicks it back out front, Driscoll. Driscoll out past the volleyball line to Custer. And they'll be patient working it here. They go in the corner. Owens drives quickly up and good. It looks like maybe they caught us napping, Josh.
Yeah, they hold it, and then a nice pass by Driscoll on a bullet pass from all the way to the top, all the way to the corner, and then Owens just went baseline. Something that is one of those 1-2-2 things you never let happen is baseline.
So 14 seconds to go here in the corner. Lincoln down 11-2 to conference rival Mount Zion. Hayes goes to Cook. Cook looks. Nelson kick out. Nelson long 3, up and no good. Around and out. Rebound Owens. Driscoll the long bomb. No, it hits the top of the backboard. And at the end of 1 quarter, it's Mount Zion 11, Lincoln 2. We will be back after this 1-minute timeout.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Mom was always very self-sufficient, but we started noticing things were off.
Alzheimer's. It was hard to hear that.
Early detection gave us time to seek information and support.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Jay Hart and Josh Komnick back here at Roy S. Anderson after one quarter of play. Lincoln down 11-2. Josh, boy, I tell you what, Mount Zion quieted our crowd up in a hurry, didn't they?
Well, I told you they'd be physical, aggressive. They've got quick guards up top that are pressuring our guys, and we can't get to the hoop. You know, we thought it was pretty easy on Monday to get there because Cahokia just didn't play very much defense, but they'll get up in you. They've got good help side, and they've got started to double down on Cook anytime he basically touches the ball around the basket.
We need somebody else to kind of break this game open, or at least break the inside open where we can start pumping the ball inside. Custer the basketball, and our defense has done a pretty good job on him. He hasn't scored yet. Owens ball knocked away. Could have been a foul there. McAtee lost it. Carson going to do a globetrotter dribble down on his knees. And kicks it right wing Nelson. Nelson on the baseline. Kicks it out front. Tyler Saucy in the basketball game for Lincoln. To Cook. Cook out front to Tyler.
Yeah, Cookie's got to try and take
Nelson
Anderson to the hoop.
Cook going to go down the lane. Layup time coming. Got it.
Yeah, he's got to do that more. Hot timeout and a quick one by their coach who wasn't happy, but Cook has got to look to take the freshman off the dribble and get to the hoop.
And that woke our crowd up. Tell you what, we're going to keep it right here. It's a 30-second timeout. Remind you of our billboard sponsors. Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street, Lincoln. Whether buying or selling, trust the professionals at Me Realty. For more information, check out merealty.com. Culver's of Lincoln, home of the Butter Burger. Stop by before or after the game, located at 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. And Chase Lowry, Edward Jones Financial. Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Railer Basketball and WLCN. Call financial advisor Chase Lowry at 217-732-7524 for all your investment needs. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Let's go Railers. And maybe that woke our crowd up, Josh.
We needed a basket there, and it was a good one. Cook caught it right at the top of the key and gave Anderson a little shake and was able to get by him and finish all the way to the hoop.
And really the first time we've been really able to apply the press. We extend it pretty good. Carson trying to hound Custer now at the timeline. Custer kicks it down to Anderson. Back out front, Custer. Custer goes to McAtee. McAtee looks inside. Anderson now at the high post. They go inside Anderson. Nice little pass out to Custer. Custer around his man. Back to Anderson. Anderson down the lane. Throws up a left-handed or right-handed hook. Gets his own board up and good.
Yeah, he'll go get it. He's got size. He's a good athlete underneath there. And basically he threw it up off the bankboard and went to go get it, got the rebound, and put it back in.
Saucy, Schilling didn't see Cook on the baseline, goes to Carson. Carson, Saucy, three on the way up, no good. A rebound, Mount Zion. McAtee hauls it out of there. McAtee looks, hounded at the timeline, goes to Custer. Custer in the middle of the Railer defense. Now the Railer defense gets back into the 1-2-2 half court. Custer, long bomb, left side, good. Lincoln Custer had, 23 on Monday night, Josh, and gets his first three of tonight. And we have a timeout on the floor to be a 30-second timeout from Coach Al. We're going to keep it right here for the time being. Headline, go ahead.
Yeah, well, Custer gets loose, and he can. The thing is, he doesn't stop shooting if he misses a couple or doesn't get a shot. When he starts it, he's going to keep going, and the Railers have got to get out on him. Nelson's slow to get out on him, and it's not right on the line. He can shoot it from a couple steps back.
5 of 10, I believe, Monday night from the three-point line of the 23 points that he scored. So we know he will shoot it. 10 three-point shots, and he made 5 of them, so we know he can shoot it. Headline Salon, located at 602 and a half Keokuk Street in Lincoln, where your hair makes the statement. Call Brett Kenna, Allie the barber, or Jasmine the message therapist at 217-651-8310. Town & Country Bank is a proud sponsor of Lincoln Railer Basketball. At Town & Country Bank, our mission is to help empower the financial well-being of our communities, one person at a time. You think there was a little yelling in that timeout, Josh?
Well, I think obviously his name was on the chalkboard in the locker room, and the Railers didn't find him there. And like I said, once he gets going, he's like a really good shooter. It just keeps going, and he can fill it up in a hurry.
Lincoln down 12, 16-4. Saucy Nelson, three on the way, no good. And he got a pretty good look at the basket, and Saucy's going to get called for the foul, trying to steal a ball from Driscoll.
Yeah, here's the thing, is the Railers settling for threes now, and we haven't been able to get to the basket on him, but one time that Cookie got to the basket, and we've really gone away from it, and the Railers are not hitting threes, and we just continue to keep shooting them. We've got to find ways to get easier scores.
Mount Zion against the Lincoln pressure. Driscoll still in the backcourt, now across the timeline, kicks it to McAtee, knocked away by Cook, good defense, back to McAtee. Back out Driscoll, left-handed three, up, no good. Ball in the air, and coming out of there with it is Schilling. Schilling to Carson. Carson up the floor in a hurry to Nelson. Nelson thought about the three, gets it out Saucy. Saucy, Schilling, Cook. Cook kicks back to Saucy. Saucy, Carson. Carson in front of the Mount Zion bench. Drives back out front. Nelson. Nelson thought about the three. Ball knocked away. Schilling saves it. Cook couldn't handle it. And it goes to McAtee. McAtee down the lane on the run. Owens up and good. Right now, Josh, nothing going right for the Rail Splitters.
No, I think it was tipped away, and I think Schilling thought it was not tipped away and tried to save it and got it to Cook. Cook saved it and led for an easy break for Mount Zion.
Saucy out front, Schilling to Cook. Lincoln needs a basket right here.
Yeah, we're just too one-dimensional right now. Passing along the perimeter, nobody can get by their man to drive.
Cook, spin in the lane, 10-footer up good. Nice little move.
He's got to take over because he's about the only guy that can get to the rim.
Peyton Cook with a nice little spin move and a 10-foot jumper in the lane. Anderson hounded out front, gets it out front to Lincoln Custer. Custer to Driscoll. Custer in the corner, McAtee. Inside, Anderson. Anderson hounded by Cook, kicks it back out to Custer. Lincoln Custer goes down the lane. Ball almost lost, now knocked on the floor. Ball knocked away, and Cook comes out of there with it. Good defense by Schilling and Cook. 18-6, the Mount Zion lead. 4.5 to go here in the second quarter. From Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, Cook. Right wing, Saucy out front. Looking inside, Cook. Schilling the three on the way. Kaboom! A Chris Coyne State Farm three. Boom, baby, for Trey Schilling, and it's 18-9.
Yeah, need it. Let's go on a little run here, Jay, to end this half.
And Schilling, I thought he was going to call for the foul, and no. Owens out of bounds. It'll be Lincoln basketball.
Yeah, Trey really aggressive on his defense now. He's got to watch it. He's already got one foul, and I don't know if he's a guy that we can to have a chance to sit on the bench. He's starting to turn up his intensity, but he can't turn it up too much where you get another foul and you sit for the rest of the half. He just came off a three, one of our better rebounders, and probably one of our better athletes that has a chance to get to the hoop.
Lincoln inbound the basketball right in front of Greg Alexander. Saucy inbounds to Carson. Lincoln down 18-9. 4 minutes to go here in the half. Saucy out front to Cook. Left baseline. Cook on Adams. Back out front. Saucy to Carson to Schilling. Jake Biven back in the basketball game for Lincoln. Carson out of the corner. He's going to drive in the lane. Kick out Saucy. Three on the way up. No good. And ball knocked out of bounds, and it should stay Lincoln basketball.
Yeah, great hustle by Schilling and also Cookie going for that offensive rebound, and hope the Railers kind of can match what Trey's doing right now on the court. Just relentless pursuit to the basketball.
Biven. Carson, Schilling. Biven. I'd like to see Biven get one of his patented drives to the basket.
Yeah, we need him to get all the way to the hoop for a layup.
Cook goes in the lane, another spin move, goes down the lane, got fouled. And Peyton Cook could foul somebody out of this basketball game. He keeps that up.
Yeah, I don't know that Adams, I think that is number 4, can stay on him the whole time. I mean, I'd like to see him get in the post. They don't have great help side. If the Railers can, if Adams fronts Cookie, then lob it over the top, and I think he can catch it and go right up to the rim.
Peyton Cook, 6'7" senior to the free throw line. Lincoln 12 of 16 from the free throw line on Monday night. And Cookie knocks down the first one. 18-10. Cookie was 7 on the evening. Second one up and good. 18-11. So Lincoln creeping back into this one.
Yeah, Cook with 8 and Schilling with 3. All the scoring for the Railers.
Driscoll now across the timeline goes to Custer. They play catch with it out at the volleyball line. Driscoll, McAtee, back to Driscoll. Mount Zion went back to their small lineup again, took the big kids out. Clark, right wing McAtee. McAtee out front, Driscoll. Driscoll, Custer. Custer nearly had it knocked away by Schilling. Out front, Driscoll. Driscoll hounded out there by Biven. Clark. Custer in the corner. Custer now double team. McAtee. McAtee's going to try and drive against Cook. Up and ball blocked. And I think they're going to get Biven maybe from behind. Let's see.
Boy, Biven didn't have to do that either. Cookie is well taller than McAtee, especially with the long arms. Cookie was doing a good job of keeping his arms straight. I'm pretty sure he blocks that shot or at least alters it. And Bivin came from behind and got him on the arm.
It's going to be tough. You try and block a shot from behind, it's going to be tough not to get the foul called against you, Josh.
Yeah, it doesn't usually end well.
No. McAtee, fortunately for us, misses the first of the 2 free throws. 2:47 to go here in the half. Second one up and good, so the Mount Zion lead back to 8, 19-11. As Carson has the basketball, and he'll bring it up for the Rail Splitters.
If you think you can get this to 4 or 5 points by the halftime, Jay, I think you're in good shape for as bad as the start was.
And I think, too, with the fact that right now you only have Cook and Schilling that have gotten on the scoreboard, you know other guys can get on the scoreboard and should get on the scoreboard by the end of this basketball game. Out front, Bivin. Bivin to Schilling. Schilling. Carson. Carson thought about going down the lane, kicks it to Hayes. Hayes, Bivin. Bivin thought about the shot. Carson out of the corner. 3, no good. Ball batted around. I think it went off Schilling. It did, and it'll go to Mount Zion.
Yeah, good job of the Railers, though. I mean, I love that Bivin's there, Schilling was there, and Hayes there. 3 guys going to the offensive boards. Just couldn't corral it. Then Schilling was unfortunately out of bounds, and it knocked off his foot.
Mount Zion still in the backcourt. Custer finally across to Clark. Ball knocked away. Good defense by Hayes. Carson down the lane. Layup time. Got it. 19-13. And Keon Carson turned on the afterburners a little bit there.
Nice tip away by Hayes. He stepped up in that passing lane from that back position and stole it, got the tip away. Credit him on the good defense.
Good defense by Cook here on the other end, using his feet, knocked the basketball away, but it'll be called a kick, and it'll stay Mount Zion basketball. 1:52 to go here in the half. Custer goes to Clark. Clark out front, Driscoll. McAtee picks off Carson, goes to Custer. Custer didn't have the shot, was going to take it inside. Clark, Adams up and no good. Rebound, Hayes yanks it out of there. And Schilling had a hand in that defensively.
Yeah, he was. I'm keep watching, and I'm hoping this clock ticks down so he doesn't. He's playing really aggressively right now, and I don't want him to get a second.
Carson to Hayes, out front Schilling. Schilling, Bivin. Bivin, Cook. Cook going to go down the lane. Layup time. Got it, and he got fouled. Cook was fouled by Cameron Clark. Count the basket. It's 19-15. And Peyton Cook will step to the free throw line for the and one.
Just a little miscommunication with the more weaves and the more handoffs you get. And I think 2 Mount Zion players ran into each other, and then Cook had a wide open layup. And when he catches that off that left wing, I guess you want to call it, and can dribble right into the paint, he's tough to stop.
First up, and the only one up, no good. Ball batted away, and Custer picks it out of there. Bivin darn near had that one. Custer the basketball to Driscoll. Custer out front. Custer, Driscoll. And now if you're Mount Zion, do you try and play for the last shot, or do you try and lull us into a sense where you throw one of those bullet passes again?
Yeah, you're right. They kind of did it to end the first quarter.
Custer hounded in the corner, nearly threw the ball away. Owens out front. Clark to Driscoll. Back out front.
Get out.
Boy, some dangerous passes. There's a shot by Custer. Short. Rebound in the corner. And Bivin grabbed it before it went out of bounds.
Well, and he grabbed it because he saw the Mount Zion player coming. Looks like the Railers will hold for 1, and we talked about it. If you can get it to 4 or 5 before half, you love your shot, or you love your chances for the Railers in the second half.
Carson out front. Lincoln going to slow the pace down. Looks like they're going to play for the last shot of the half. I think if you're coach, you'd be very satisfied going in down only 4 at half to consider the way you started.
That was we started 2 points in the first quarter, and then thanks to Cookie with a big second quarter, he's got 8 in the quarter.
Carson, Schilling. Mount Zion all over him. Carson, the fake pass inside. Carson was wide open out front to Cook. Cook 3 on the way, up, no good. And that'll end the half with Lincoln down 19-15 after being down 11-2 after the first quarter. Josh and I will be back with the Grau Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic halftime show in 2 minutes. You're listening to Railer Basketball on WLCN 96.3 FM.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. and our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask?
Visit talkaboutVaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Back at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, where Lincoln, after a disastrous start, crept back into this basketball game, cut the deficit. It was 16-4 at one time, so it was 12 points. They've cut it to 4. Josh, we've had some good play from Peyton Cook and some better defense knocking the basketball away to be able to creep back in this basketball game.
Well, it almost looked like the Railers kind of took some medicine from what Mount Zion was doing to us, because they're upping us, they're crowding us, they're holding on to us, and you start to see Schilling do a little bit. You start to see Bivens do like, hey, the refs are letting us play a little bit here. Let's go after it.
You know, Trey Schilling is only, 5'11", but he's a strong kid. I mean, and he's a strong, aggressive kid. You don't want to be too aggressive where you foul out of the basketball game, but hey, if they're going to let you play that way, you've got to match their aggressiveness. You don't have any choice.
Well, you've got to play smart. You can do it when you don't have foul trouble. I thought Trey was a little aggressive there with about 4 minutes left. He was being really aggressive. Love that part of it, but already had one foul. So you got to pick your spots when you do that.
If you're Dale Schuring, are you a little bit concerned now because your team punched us in the mouth and we came back, but we've shown, I think, that Peyton Cook can kind of take their smaller guys down the lane, plus he can take their bigger guys because they're not as quick as he is.
Yeah, and obviously he's going to be a guy that they talked about before the game, this guy they're going to talk about now, that they've almost got to double down when Keon's in there. Unfortunately for us and him, that they back off of him so much. Keon can't be the guy passing to Cook. He's got to be off the ball or somewhere else. But also, his man is helping with Cook. So coach has got to come up. Somebody's going to have to step up and hit a couple threes. You know, we had Schilling with the big one there at the top of the key in the second quarter there. But somebody else is going to have to step up and make a couple shots.
Can you run down some of the scoring here at halftime?
Yeah, first for the Railers. Actually, let's go for the Braves. They were led pretty balanced so far. Jay Owens had 4, 3 apiece. Actually, 4 guys with 3. Driscoll, Custer, Clark, all with 3-pointers. And then Adams had a layup and 1 free throw for his 3. 2 points for Anderson and 1 for McAtee to round out the 19 for Mount Zion. The Railers were led by Cook. Cook finished the half with 10 points. 3 for Trey Schilling on a 3-pointer, and 2 points off the steal and a layup by Keon Carson.
So if you're Coach Al, we've seen this. Keon Carson does a very good job of handling the basketball. He really doesn't turn the basketball over, but they know he's probably not going to beat them from outside, so they're really playing off him. They're really not guarding him from shooting. So if you're Coach Al, do you bring somebody else in, even though you may lose the ball handling that you're confident in, maybe in Keon Carson? Do you bring somebody else in who's willing to step up and take that shot and draw that defender out?
I think even if you don't come out and shoot it, Custer now starts to guard you a little bit, because if you're Gowan or if you're a Nelson, they're gonna come out on you. So I think you've got to think about it. There's no question. But also when you bring those guys in, one of them's got to hit one, or they might tend to sag back in there. So we've got to shoot the ball a little bit better from the perimeter, a little tougher. We talked about it. You said, can we consistently score in the 60s? Well, you see a little bit different defense, a little bit better defense, and here's what we're looking at, 15-point half.
19-15, the Mount Zion lead here, and we've got 4.5 minutes to go before we start the second half here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Tell you what, let's send it back to the studio for this 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll bring you the start of the second half here at Roy S. Anderson. You're listening to Railer Basketball on 96.3 FM WLCN.
Have you ever seen somebody treated unfairly because of the color of their skin?
Do you guys know what it means to have white privilege?
What is racism and what do you think about it?
Talk to young children about what racism is, giving them the language to understand it. They can be disruptors. They can shape and shift culture.
We may not always know the answer, but we'll try and help you learn.
You don't have to have all the answers, but that doesn't mean we can't start.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
Back at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, where Lincoln is down at halftime, 19-15 to the Mount Zion Braves. Jay Hart and Josh Komnick back here on WLCN FM. Let's tell you a little bit about some of our game sponsors. Lloyd Kirby, Ace Salesman, has been working on sponsors, and boy, do we have a slew of them this year. Carpet House, Lincoln Heating and Cooling, Lincoln Printers, Capsil, Community Action Partnership of Central Illinois, Grau Incorporated, Schneider Chiropractic, Eaton Corporation, Chris Coyne State Farm Insurance, Chicago Street Rentals, live stream video sponsors, Heartland Community College, Blades Hair and Nail Salon, Me Realty, Culver's of Lincoln, home of the Butterburger, and Schneider Masonry. By the way, partner, your modesty is something else. I heard you guys on Monday night, and you said you weren't sure if you'd win a one-on-one game against Brad. I got my money on you because I'm going to tell you, post him up. You got him, post him up.
He lifts those bricks every day, man. He's stronger than I am, so I knew if I said it otherwise, he'd be calling me right away. So
you're thinking that even if you post him up, he's going to shove you out of the post, huh?
Yeah, just like these guys are tonight. There's a little physicality I'm not used to underneath.
Sorry, Brad, but I think my partner's got you. I do. I think my money's on him. So 1:04 to go before we start the second half. So, Josh, you keep going to the Cook-Will tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing we got cooking right now, So that would be nice, but we'll have to, somebody else is going to have to make a couple shots because they're going to make it now. They're going to double team Cook, and they're going to scrap and claw and fight at him, and somebody else is going to have to step up and hit a couple threes.
Dale Schuring plays mostly man-to-man defense. Would you think, if you're on his side, would you think maybe about going zone?
Well, I just think they give us so much trouble with their pressure that they're not allowing us to get a good look.
That's true.
And I think with the zone, they may give us two good looks but again, we may get good looks, but we've got to make them. You know what I mean? So somebody's going to have to step up and get a shot.
19-15, the Mount Zion lead. We're just about ready to start the second half. Railers will move from left to right as you look at your radio dial. Railers tonight in the road green uniforms, numerals in red, trimmed in white, and Mount Zion wearing the home uniforms tonight, but it's reversed on the scoreboard. Boy, that's not confusing at all, is it, Josh?
Well, I was looking at the scoring, trying to figure out what I had done wrong, and then wisened up a little bit and looked over and figured out the scoreboard was the same. Got to give a shout out to the guys listening in the garage tonight, 380 Northgate, owner of Chicago Street Rentals. These guys are checking out the game and enjoying the YouTube. It's a lot clearer than we got since we've got a regular camera guy now. Monday was the B squad for the camera guy. We're A-team now.
All right, we're ready to go. Lincoln to inbound the basketball here to start the second half. The original starting five back on the floor for Lincoln, and the original starting five back on the floor for Mount Zion. Schilling inbound the basketball at half court right in front of the Lincoln fan section. And there goes the whistle, and we start half number 2. Inbounds to Carson. Keon Carson. Mount Zion stays in the man-to-man. Goes in the corner to Schilling. Schilling looked inside to Biven. Out front, Cook now. Cook to Biven. Biven, Carson. Schilling. Hayes. Out front, Biven. Railers running a little bit of the weave. There goes Cook down the lane. Didn't take it. Hayes going to step it in there, and Hayes gets fouled. Love the aggressiveness by Drew Hayes on the baseline.
Well, he had 9 big points for us on Monday. He had a nice drive here in the first half. Took on some contact, didn't get the layup to go, but we talked about it. You know, sometimes when you drive to the basket, you may not have all the quickness, but sometimes if you can get that step on the one guy and don't back down, keep your shoulder in, drive him in, and Drew has definitely got the strength, and he wants to knock somebody over. He just got to put his head down and get there.
Drew Hayes misses the first of 2 free throws. Still 19-15 Mount Zion. Second one up and good. Got the second of the free throws. Cuts it to 3. 7:40 to go here in the third quarter. Mount Zion up 19-16. Lincoln ramping up the pressure just a little bit. Out front, Custer. Custer and Driscoll out between the circles, out past the volleyball line. Carson hounding Driscoll.
Yeah, Custer and Driscoll don't have any worries with the 1-2-2, do they? I mean, they're sophomores that look like they can handle it in no time.
In the corner, Custer, bomb on the way, good. Lincoln Custer broke free in the corner and nails the 3. It's 22-16 Mount Zion.
Yeah, that's just lack of communication, figuring out where Custer is. Guys aren't talking on the floor because no way he should get an open look.
Cook going to go down the lane again, up and no good. And Mount Zion all around the basketball. Ball nearly knocked away by Schilling, almost a foul. He's batted away, and Mount Zion's going to come out of there with it. Clark ahead to McAtee. McAtee down the lane, sidestep, up, no good. Rebound, Cook. Cook to Carson. Carson down the lane, kicks it to Biven. Biven to Hayes. Hayes in the corner, Carson. Carson out front, Schilling. Schilling, Hayes, Cook. Oh, nearly traveled with the basketball. Ball knocked away, ball on the floor. Cook, ball knocked away and out of bounds. And Neil Alexander wanted a foul there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a regional style, the way this game is called tonight. I mean, it is physical, and it's hard to get by guys when they're hanging and slapping and clawing at you. Look at this guy on Cook all the way.
2 guys on him, bumping all the way, and a foul called on Mount Zion.
That's been one of the lighter of the fouls that we've seen. And now their coach is giving it to because basically saying that's not been called all night.
But he's right. Foul on number 4, and that's McCoby Adams, and that is his second foul. And a second on Mount Zion. Ball on the floor again. Ball called.
And then the out-of-bounds guy kicks the ball, and now we don't get it back.
Oh, and coach is letting the official have it. He is really letting him have it over here on the sidelines. And the official's nodding his head. Custer in the backcourt for Mount Zion. Custer across to Driscoll. Mount Zion back up to a 9-point lead, 25-16. Custer out front. Looks, goes to Driscoll. Back to Custer.
Boy, 4-9 in a hurry, really, and that lead has evaporated. That small deficit has evaporated for the Railers with some big threes by Custer here in the third.
Driscoll goes to Custer. Custer into McAtee. Threw the ball away into the Mount Zion bench. Lincoln gets a break there and needs a basket coming the other way. 5:24 to go here in the third quarter. Cam Nelson in the basketball game for the Rail Splitters. Keon Carson takes a seat. Nelson up against Driscoll, and he's getting bumped and hounded all the way. Kicks it to Schilling. Schilling, Custer all over him. Nelson in front of the Lincoln bench, out front Hayes. Now Lincoln gets into their offense. Bivin going to drive down the lane. Bivin gets bumped, back out front Hayes. Hayes the fake. Nelson, three on the way. No good, in and out. Rebound, good rebound by Bivin. Bivin getting hacked in the lane, and we're going to get the foul.
Yeah, good job by Jacob staying with it, and that's a very good look for Nelly. And the other night he makes that, and a night where he's got to get in a little bit more rhythm there. But good look, good pass out by Bivin, and then Bivin goes and gets the offensive rebound.
Macoby Adams going to take a seat, and J.C. Anderson going to come back in the basketball game. Lincoln inbound underneath its own basket. Schilling looks to kick in. Bivin up and no good. Missed a close-in shot. May have gotten too far under the backboard. And Anderson comes out with the rebound. Custer, the basketball out front. Goes to Clark. Clark right wing, back out front, Custer. Custer volleyball line. And now Mount Zion spreads the floor with Anderson down here on the low post.
Yeah, they move Custer around a little bit in motion here, so the Railers really got to communicate on where number 11 is.
Driscoll will reset the Mount Zion offense. They're looking to bring Lincoln out of the 1-2-2 or draw it out further.
Yeah, and a lot of these tournaments have gone to the shot clock, and this is one that hasn't so far. So you're looking right now probably at a shot clock expiring.
Lincoln Custer, 25-footer up, no good, air ball. Ball out of bounds, and McAtee had a chance to save it. He'd been a little quicker to the basketball. Bivin going to take a seat. Aiden Gowan going to come in a basketball game for Lincoln, and Owens is going to come back in for Mount Zion, replacing Clark.
Yeah, I think Coach just trying to find a group here now that can get some flow to the offense, and when they get their opportunity to make that three or make that shot or get a layup to go, we've got to knock them down. Custer's been able to do that here in the third quarter. The Railers have not.
Cam Nelson handling the basketball for Lincoln. Comes across the timeline. Now Mount Zion goes zone. Gowan, the lob pass for Cook, and Cook got undercut. And no call. Ball goes out of bounds, and Neil Alexander is hot.
I think it was supposed to be a design set play for Cook for a lob. I don't know that was a shot from Gowan, or it was supposed to be a shot, but it looked like Cook got hammered going up to receive the alley-oop, and no call underneath again.
He did. And now the ball goes over to Mount Zion on the turnover. They spread the floor. McAtee in the corner. McAtee looks, in trouble. Out front, Driscoll. Custer goes inside Anderson. Driscoll. Custer, three on the way, up and no good. Back of the iron, rebound, Hayes in the corner. Anderson reached around, no call. Out front, two, and bounce pass, and it's going to get kicked away. Nelson tried to bounce pass in traffic. Hayes going to steal it back. Hayes got fouled by Lincoln Custer.
Yeah, great job by Hayes. Real aware of what's going on. It looked like Mount Zion player was going to pass it ahead. Hayes kind of redirected his momentum, and Hayes with a very good defensive night tonight. A couple steals when he's been working around the back to intercept the pass, and there's another one there.
Gowan in front of the Lincoln bench, goes inside Cook, baseline. Cook tries to kick it to Hayes, and ball got knocked away. Here comes Custer the other way in a hurry. Custer goes baseline, Driscoll, 8-footer up and no good. Ball batted around. Anderson throws it up, no good. McAtee picks it up. Cook's going to get nailed with the foul.
I don't think he's shooting. He's way underneath the bankboard.
They called that one on the floor. Peyton Cook gets nailed for his first foul. They go inside Owens. Owens kicks it to McAtee. Long three on the way. Ball rattles around. Cook finally comes out of there with it. Cook to Nelson. Nelson up the right side. Nelson out front, Hayes. Left wing, Schilling.
Yeah, it looks like Mount Zion in the zone right now.
Schilling tried to pass the ball in traffic. Ball kicked away by Custer. It'll remain Lincoln basketball with the score 25-16 Mount Zion. 2:51 to go here in the third quarter. Nully out front. Goes Schilling. Schilling thought about the three. Kicks it Cook baseline. Cook drives baseline. Reverse layup. No good. Hayes skies for the rebound. Hayes in traffic. Up and no good. Good aggressive play by Drew Hayes under the basket.
Yeah, Cook's got to realize there when he drives baseline, he's not going to have to go up and under many times on anybody. He's long, he's athletic, he can jump. Don't go on that up and unders for a 5'9" guy trying to score on a big guy. He's just got to attack the rim and concentrate on making the layup. If he doesn't, hopefully it's a foul.
Hayes, first free throw. Boy, that didn't look good at all, and it wasn't. Clanked off the back of the iron.
He was good on Monday, too, from the foul line. Railers 12 of 16 from the foul line on Monday, and Hayes was pretty good himself.
Second one, short, and ball rebounded out of there by Owens. Owens to Driscoll. Driscoll around Nelson. Kicks it out front. Anderson. They get Custer in the corner. He drives baseline. Ball batted away. And Cook comes out of there with it again. Hayes got a hand on the basketball and knocked it away. 2:26 to go here in the third quarter. Teams trading turnovers and missed baskets. Out front, Schilling, Gowan. Gowan in the corner, Nelson. They go inside, Cook. Layup, got it. Got fouled, no call.
Yeah, no foul again. Body like crazy. McAtee bodied him up after the shot. And just not a lot of fouls called. You can see 5 on the Railers and only 1 on Mount Zion.
25-18, 7 points. The Mount Zion lead with 1:59 to go here in the third quarter. Custer, looks like a design play for him. Nope, kicks it out. Driscoll, long three on the way up. No good. Short ball on the floor. Gowan comes out of there with it.
Well, you need to see that intensity back from Schilling and see if the Railers can follow him like he was in the first half.
Inside Hayes. Good pass underneath Cook. Reverse layup. No. Rebound Anderson. Anderson ahead quickly. And here comes Owens. Owens to Anderson. Up and no good. Rebound Hayes. Hayes to Nelson. The pace frantic right now with 1:27 to go here in the third. Gowan back out front to Nelly. Schilling around the pick, and Cook's going to get called, I think, for the screen. Yep. Cook on the illegal screen. That is his second.
Yeah, and that wasn't necessarily Cook's fault there. The ball handler, I think that might have been Schilling, has got to get closer to shoulder when they rub off of each other.
Yeah, if you youngster Railers are watching at home, there's a role for the screener and there's a role for the guy getting the screen set for. You've got to run your man closer to the screen. Yeah. You can't leave a gap.
Yep.
Substitutions for the Railers as Schilling and Hayes sit down. Saucy in the basketball game. Bivin back in the basketball game, as is Carson. Custer. Anderson across the timeline. Anderson 35 feet from the basket. Kicks it back out to Custer. 1:09 to go. 25-18. Mount Zion the lead. A 7-point lead. Was 3 at one time here in the third quarter. Driscoll out front. Back to Custer. They're playing catch with it. Running time off the clock. Looks like they may try and take the last shot of the third quarter.
Yeah, if not, they're going to try to lull you to sleep and then get it in. But Cookie with a nice play and tips it over with Keon getting the steal.
Good defense by Peyton Cook on the interior. Peyton Cook baseline. Peyton Cook out front to Keon Carson, to Gowan.
Still see that zone from...
Oh, Gowan lost the basketball trying to pass it over to Carson. Custer layup time, left-handed, good.
Yeah, that zone from Mount Zion, and Gowan him and Keon are too far spread apart. They've got to beat their pass, get a little closer.
Carson across the timeline, 27-18, the Mount Zion lead. Back up to 9. Carson, Saucy to Carson. Railers now in almost a 1-3-1 set with Bivin running at the free throw line. Now Saucy goes down low with Cook. Gowan out front, Carson. And Carson has the ball kicked away by Lincoln Custer, trying to get it to Gowan on the right wing.
Boy, there's a lot of discombobulation there on that play. Railers not knowing what they're going. Coaches yelling a play, and credit Mount Zion's defense to what's going on here. We got a little.
Looks like a
little talking underneath.
A little John going on underneath. Referee stepped in, had a little talk with him. Carson, 3 on the way, top of the key, up, no good. And at the end of 3 quarters, it's Mount Zion 27, the Lincoln Rail Splitters 18. We'll be back in 1 minute with the final period. You're listening to Railer Basketball on WLCN FM 96.3.
Donating pet food can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Back at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, where the Railers on the short end of the stick right now, down 27-18 to the Mount Zion Braves. Lincoln was down 19-15 at halftime and had cut the gap to 19-16 after a free throw, I believe, by Drew Hayes. The only other score I can think of in the third quarter, Josh, is a two-pointer by Peyton Cook. So 3 points for the Railers in the third quarter.
Well, 2 points in the first quarter and 3 points in the third quarter. It was struggled to win some games doing that.
And we've had opportunities here in the third quarter, but a turnover here, a missed shot there, just hasn't led to any points here in the third quarter.
No, you're right. We've had some chances, but we've had some not fluid offense either. A lot of guys throwing the ball away and not knowing exactly what you're doing. It looks like man-to-man back for Mount Zion, which might be a little bit better for the Railers.
Cook had the ball batted away. Bivens grabs it out between the circles. Bivens drives Gowan. Gowan out front, Carson. Keon's at least tried a couple of shots, so they know he will try and shoot it occasionally. Saucy. Bivens. Cook. Cook bumped by Adams to Carson. Carson. Little shake and bake there in the lane. Kicks it back out. Saucy to Gowan. Bivens. Carson.
The Railers have to get to the paint and then go out. We've got to force ourselves to get to the paint. We're passing off and handing off way too far from the basket.
Saucy, Cook, back out front, Bivens, Gowan. Gowan, Saucy, Cook, Carson. Back out front to Tyler Saucy. Railers spreading the floor, running their little weave. Back out front, Carson. Carson to Cook, looking for the drive down the lane. Doesn't get it. Kicks to Gowan. Gowan to Saucy to Bivens. Keon Carson. Now back to Cook. Cook going to try the lane now, and a timeout called by Lincoln.
Yeah, just not a lot going on. A lot of passing, a lot of guys timid, and they play that man-to-man where it's up in your face, but they've got good help when you start to drive. Sure, we've got the guys that can just break you down and get all the way to the hoop.
So we're going to keep it right here with Lincoln down 27-18, 6:53 to go here in the fourth quarter. Josh, do you think we look a little confused out there at times?
Yeah, we do. And, I think you got a sight of what the Railers can be with maybe a bit of a lesser opponent, but these guys know each other so well. I was here helping referee during the summer 2 or 3 times, and at least they played at least 3 times during the summer here at the shootout or for the league. So they know each other well. They do a good job of scouting each other, and right now Mount Zion winning that battle on the defensive end.
So Lincoln inbounds the basketball underneath their own basket. Bivens to inbound the ball. Gets it into Gowan. Gowan 3 on the way out of the corner. Got it. A Chris Coyne State Farm 3. Boom, baby. 27-21. He cuts the lead to 6.
First points for Gowan on the night, so maybe that's something where they can get the Railers going. Maybe time to get Schilling back in, too. He was one of the spark on the defense that really turned it up. And you get him back in there.
Custer, ball nearly stolen away by Carson. Goes in the corner, Clark. Clark hounded by Railers all over the place. Ball batted away, and Carson comes out of there with it. Keon Carson, now hounded by Owens out front.
Here's where Keon's struggles a little bit against the zone where he can't see over the top of the defenders.
Mount Zion in the zone. They put Owens out front, and the ball thrown away by Lincoln. Saucy threw it over Carson's head into the scorer's table. Coach Ewald's got it, and he'll hand it off to McCobie Adams as Mount Zion will inbound the basketball right in front of Greg Alexander.
Right substitution as Drew Hayes returns. It's out of bounds for the Braves.
Uncharacteristic turnovers in this half.
Oh, and there's a turnover on Mount Zion. They had not crossed the half-court line yet.
Well, they gave it back to us, so we'll take it here.
So Nelson in the basketball game for Carson. Schilling back in the basketball game for Bivens. And Josh, right now we probably have, I would say, our 3 best shooters of the guards on the floor.
Yeah, and they're going 1-2-2 here against the Railers. So if we don't know how to break this, then we got some trouble.
In the corner, Gowan, a 3 on the way again. Threw it clean over the rim. Ball on the floor. Schilling and battling for it with Driscoll. Oh, and Schilling and Driscoll are going at it. No call anywhere. And it goes out of bounds to Mount Zion.
I'm not sure how he didn't get called for over the back. He was all over the back of Schilling, I think, down low.
And it looks like coach is going to the bench almost immediately. Nelson going to come out. Carson back in the basketball game.
Almost offense for defense, it looks like.
Driscoll in the backcourt to Custer. Still in the backcourt, Mount Zion. Now across to McAtee. Owens, ball knocked away. Good defense by Hayes. Now to Carson. 5:42 to go in the basketball game. Folks, deficit's only 6. We got plenty of time. In the baseline, Cook. Cook nearly traveled with the basketball. Out front to Carson. Schilling had the ball fake. Got his man up.
You're right.
Schilling again. 3 on the way. Up. No good. Gowan skies for the rebound. Ball on the floor. And who got called for the foul? Was it Mount Zion?
Driscoll, yeah. I think Gowan up high for the rebound, and Driscoll grabbed him as he was coming down. So good job by Gowan for going to that offensive rebound. I thought Trey had the guy up in the air, and a great time to go by your guy.
Believe it or not, that is only the first foul on Sam Driscoll. And a 30-second timeout by Dale Schuring and the Mount Zion Braves. Josh, let's go ahead and keep it right here. Boy, you get a sense maybe that a little bit of spark is coming into the Lincoln life.
Well, and I think Mount Zion's done a good job, too, of switching defenses. You know, as you start to get a little bit of a rhythm against a man, he's done a good job of switching up. We haven't shot it well from the three-pointer, so the 1-2-2 for them, especially when Keon's in there dribbling the ball, they've got a kid, I don't know, he's probably 6'3" or 6'4", playing at the top, and it's tough for Keon to see over the top of that guy. So when he's in there, they tend to go to the zone to try to slow him down a little bit, but then they go man. You know, he's done a good job of switching it up, and we've not really gotten in, obviously with 21 points, we've not gotten into a rhythm.
Mount Zion heads back on the floor after meeting with their coach Dale Schuring. Railer's still around, Coach Neil Alexander. Lincoln will have the basketball. Now, Josh, I'm confused by the scoreboard. Is it Mount Zion that has 6 fouls, or do we have 6 fouls? I think it's Mount Zion.
Yeah, Mount Zion with 6 fouls.
So that means next foul, we are shooting the bonus, and we got plenty of fouls to give before they get to it.
Yeah, 6-2.
Inbounds to Cook. Cook to Nelson. Mount Zion goes back into the man-to-man. Out front, Schilling. Schilling with Custer on him, goes to Gowan. To Schilling. Schilling, right wing, Hayes. Cook, handoff Schilling. Schilling, 3 on the way, up short, no good. Rebound Driscoll. Sam Driscoll quickly ahead to Custer, sets his feet, 3 on the way, up, no good. Cook to rebound, and Cook got fouled over the back and around, and no call.
I'm telling you, that guy lets him play underneath.
Nelson out front against Driscoll. Goes left wing, Schilling. Schilling, Custer on him. Cook, free throw line. Cook looks for the cutter, Nelson. Nelson back out, Cook. Cook, Hayes, back to Cook. Peyton Cook going to try and drive down the lane. Got hacked a couple of times, and Adams, I think, is going to get nailed for yet another foul. And that may be 4 on McCovey Adams.
Yeah, and the guy that doesn't call anything is just staring right at the play. Bonus for, as you said earlier, 16 fouls on Mount Zion, now 7. So the Railers will be in the bonus, and Cookie will step to the foul line.
The foul was on Owen Owens, number 23. That is his 2nd and the 7th on Mount Zion. So that'll send Cookie to the line. Josh, when you're down, it's nice when you can score with the clock stopped.
Yeah, that's the thing that the opposite coach does not want, but we may be in it, well, actually now for a minute or 4 minutes and 31 seconds, so we'll see if the Railers can take advantage of that.
First one up and good for the Cookie Monster. Not sure they understood it was one and bonus because Mount Zion was ready to run the basketball down the other end of the floor. Cookie with the second one. Still some jawing going out, it looks like, down on the baseline. Cookie, the second one up and good. Give Peyton Cook 14 on the evening. The deficit now 4, 27-23. They're going to nail Keon Carson on the foul on Sam Driscoll.
Yeah, that's all right, though. Just the third team foul for the Railers. And as much as the referees tend to give our guys a defensive, they've given it to Mount Zion. You can take a chance on a couple of those where you reach and hack. And
Carson knocked him down, and they're going to get Carson again on the foul. And I'm not so sure Driscoll didn't kind of get his feet tangled up with Carson there rather than Carson pushing him, but there was contact. So that's 2 fouls on Keon Carson. So you're right, though. If you're going, they've let them play so far. You can kind of take a chance on a couple of these plays. Now they get it inbounds to Custer. Carson's going to get up there and hound him. Custer to Driscoll. They're still in the backcourt. Now Driscoll gets it across the timeline to Custer. Custer looks. Out front, Driscoll. They're still 35 feet from the basket. Owens. Driscoll.
Yeah, they got no middle now, and now they start to bring McAtee into the middle. They'll bring Custer into the middle now and try to outplay, Oh, and Schilling's going to get nailed with the reach around.
That'll be 3 on Trey Schilling and 5 team fouls on Lincoln.
Yeah, now you can't really, you don't want to get to 6 where you're 1 away, and you got a lot of time left here. We want to take advantage of us being in the bonus, not let them take advantage of it also.
Still 4 minutes to go in a basketball game, and I don't think Mount Zion can or really wants to hold the basketball for 4 minutes here.
No, a lot of time left. Keon's got to be real careful here. He's all up in those guys.
Driscoll out front. Driscoll goes into McAtee. McAtee down the lane. Ball's over, and there's Custer. 3 on the way. It looks good. It is. Lincoln Custer, it's 30 to 23. Mount Zion ahead. Carson, ball knocked out of bounds by McAtee.
Yeah, you can almost leave McAtee alone in the middle. You've got it. You can't go and converge on the guy in the middle, especially if you have Custer on your side.
Carson to Schilling. Schilling back to Keon. Keon in the corner. Now out front, Schilling. Schilling 3 on the way up, no good. Hayes almost called for over the back, and Mount Zion comes out of there with it. McAtee to Driscoll. Driscoll across the timeline to McAtee. Corner Custer, 3 on the way up, no good. Rebound Hayes. Hayes to Carson.
Go.
Carson going to turn on the afterburners. No, give it to Cook, and Cook is going to get called. He got called for the offensive foul, is that right?
No, I think it was a block. He called the block, but
it's on the floor.
He didn't give him the foul, or he didn't give him the basket, yeah.
Okay. So thought maybe he was going to call the charge there, but called the block.
Yeah, called the block, so it should be Cookie going to the foul line for 1 and 1.
It is. And that is the second foul on Sam Driscoll. And Peyton Cook goes to the free throw line again. Again, 30 to 23, the Mount Zion lead. Peyton Cook will have 1 and the bonus. Number 34, eyes it up and good. 15 for Peyton on the evening. Second one. Bounces it 3-4 times. Up and got them both.
Yeah, good free throw shooting here by Cook, especially late in this game. He's made 4 for 4 in the fourth quarter.
Ball still in the backcourt for Mount Zion, and Carson's going to get nailed on the foul, tried for the steal. And that, I believe, is 3 now on Keon Carson. Mount Zion will still have the ball in the backcourt. McCovey Adams to inbounds for the Braves. Adams inbounds to Lincoln Custer. Got to watch out for Lincoln Custer, Josh.
Yeah, they're gonna look for him. He's their leader.
McAtee kicks it back out. Owens out front. Custer to Driscoll. Nearly throws the ball away. Here comes Custer. Custer down the lane to McAtee. McAtee in the trees, and they're gonna nail Cook on the foul. Oh my. Wow.
Yeah, that was a pretty good defense there by Cook. The bad thing is when you get a foul call like that, it's against what the coach tries to teach you. You know, the coach tries to teach you to stay grounded, keep your arms up, use your length, and all of a sudden you get called a foul like that. Well, then the guy thinks, well, I better start jumping then, and then it becomes even worse.
McAtee makes the first of 2 free throws, 31-25 the Mount Zion lead. That's 3 fouls on Peyton Cook. Cam Nelson in the basketball game for Aiden Gowan. Second one up and good. Makes them both 32-25. Josh, don't want to belabor the point, but that's the guy I believe has been kind of letting them play, and that was kind of an iffy foul. Schilling, 3-pointer on the way, no good. Hayes Jump ball called, and the possession arrow will favor Mount Zion, but good hustle by Drew Hayes.
Yeah, the Raylor shooting just not hitting here in the fourth quarter. I think we've got the couple free throws by Cook, and that's about it so far. Trey there with a open three that you take that to the other end, and Custer's been making those. Just the difference right now.
McAtee still in the backcourt with Driscoll. Now Driscoll going to dribble across, gets it to Owens. Owens left-handed layup, up and good.
Yeah, great pass there.
Mount Zion split the defense, and Owens went down the lane for the layup. Keon Carson going to go down the lane, drew some contact, out to Gowan. Gowan, a three that went in and out. McAtee hauls down the rebound. 2:15 to go. McAtee ahead quickly to Owens. Now Mount Zion going to play keep away and get layups. Ball knocked away, and ball going to go to Lincoln. Good defense by Aiden Gowan. Knocked it off of McCoby Adams.
Yeah, and the Railers can't panic here. There's a lot of time left. You know, we're firing threes. Gowan with a deep three almost went in, but plenty of time to get twos yet. You've got 2:09 left here in the game, and we're only down 9. There's a lot of time left.
Carson the basketball. Goes right wing to Hayes. Mount Zion in the man-to-man. Looking for Cook on the pop-out. There he is, free throw line. Looking for the cutter screen. Nelly in the corner. Three on the way. In and out. No good. Rebound. Hayes had it. Ball bounces very high. Ball on the floor. Schilling going after it. And traveling going to be called on Mount Zion. Wow.
Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. Nelly with the three, in and out, and then Hayes up high for a rebound. Man, you see the Railers flying in for offensive rebounds. You love to see it. The scrappiness is going.
Lob into Cook. Cook, guys all over him. Guys hanging all over him. Brought the ball down, had it stripped away. Ball quickly ahead to Driscoll. Ball knocked out of bounds by Carson. It'll stay Mount Zion basketball.
Yeah, that's where we talked about one time where Cookie kept it up nice in the first quarter. That time he brought it down on that lob. If he doesn't have a chance to shoot it off the lob, he's just got to keep that thing high and go right back up with it.
Owens to inbound the basketball for Mount Zion. Kicks it out front. McAtee. McAtee, Custer. Schilling going to get nailed on the foul, trying to steal the ball away from Lincoln Custer. And that will be foul number 3 on Trey Schilling.
Yeah, probably the wrong guy to send to the free throw line, too. Custer with 14 tonight on 4 3-pointers and a layup.
First one for Lincoln Custer, up and good. 15 on the night for Lincoln Custer. Had 23, I believe, Monday night against Belleville. Second one for Lincoln Custer. 6'3" sophomore, up and good. Hayes quickly inbounds to Carson. 36-25, the Mount Zion lead, up to 11.
Still got a chance for twos here, down 11, but you can't just fire threes because we haven't hit tonight, and then when you miss, you give them the ball back, and just easier chances to score.
Cook, spin move, 10-foot turnaround, might have been partially blocked, was an air ball, short, and Driscoll the rebound to Lincoln Custer. Custer out front, Driscoll. Driscoll to Custer. Custer. Minute 17 to go. Mount Zion up 11. They're not going to be in any hurry to shoot the basketball, that's for sure. Mount Zion's in the bonus, so are we. Out front, Driscoll, and now Lincoln's guards come out. They go to McAtee. McAtee nearly traveled with the basketball. Bounce pass to Driscoll. Driscoll out front, Custer. Under a minute to go here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Mount Zion, Owens back out front, Custer. Mount Zion playing keep away right now. They've gone into an all-out stall. Out front, McAtee. McAtee baseline, Adams. Adams will bring it back out. Had a chance at a layup, but Cook got back there. Into McAtee. McAtee nearly threw the basketball away and did. Good defense by Schilling. McAtee down on the floor. Here comes Schilling in a hurry. Layup time. Got it. 29 seconds to go. 36-27. Quickly ahead to McAtee and nearly threw the ball away. He saved it into Adams. Adams to Custer. Custer out front. Carson all over him. 15 seconds to go. Ball nearly knocked away, and ball was knocked away, and a traveling going to be called on Mount Zion. Carson in the corner, Nelson Out front, Hayes. Hayes going to try a three. Up and no good. Back of the iron. Rebound to McAtee, and that's going to probably end it right here. 36-27 going to be the final score. Mount Zion wins it here on the Rail Splitters home floor. That'll make Mount Zion 2-0 on the year, 1-0 in the Apollo, and Railers fall to 1-1 and 0-1 in the Apollo Conference. Josh Komnick and I will be back in 2 minutes with the Grau Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic post-game show.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Mom was always very self-sufficient, but we started noticing things were off.
Alzheimer's. It was hard to hear that.
Early detection gave us time to seek information and support.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Back at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, where a disappointed Railer Nation leaves Roy S. Anderson after watching the Rail Splitters go down to Mount Zion 36-27. And Josh, before we get to your comments and the scoring, the Me Realty list of the game. So I wanted to bring this back out because we talked about the three keys, which were ball handling, rebounding, and shooting. I don't know that we did a bad job of rebounding. I thought Mount Zion did a pretty good job of sealing our guys off from rebounding. So I don't think we did a bad job of rebounding. But ball handling and shooting sure were a couple of Achilles heels for this basketball team tonight.
Yeah, and you saw times where we had some costly turnovers, and really in the second half we had some of them, that came in bad times. We made that run, we got it to 4, and then at halftime, and then Custer came out and hit those couple threes, and we just had some rough timing with the turnovers. And I give Mount Zion a lot of credit, man. They switched defenses, and I thought that really threw us for a loop.
Give them credit too, Josh, because they came right out. We talk about this from time to time. They came right out and punched us in the mouth early on, and they kept hitting us all game long. They were very physical. They were very tough to play against. We had some runs during the basketball game, and we had some opportunities in the third quarter to score some points. But as you said, we had bad shots or turnovers at the most inopportune time.
Well, and give the Railers credit. You're right. We could have got blown out of this gym the way it was going in the beginning. I think, what did you say, 16-4 was our deficit there for a while, and we clawed back, and we talked about if we can get it to 4 or 5 before half. We did that, and then just couldn't quite get on track. Custer got them a couple threes, and they got some momentum going, and we just never hit that big three or that big shot or a couple in a row to really kind of to get us going. So it's one of those nights where it's a learning night. Obviously, it's early in the season, and there's things to work on. We were good against man for them against sometimes, and I didn't think our zone offense was very good against their zone defense, and that's where we should be pretty good with the amount of shooting we can put around the floor, but we just didn't shoot it well.
Have you got any scoring to give the folks who have probably made it to their car by
scoreboard
now?
turned off, and after so long, my attention span goes.
That's all right, and goes
blank on the scores book. So
catch Lincoln Daily News with Tina Lowry. I'm sure we'll have all of the scoring. She usually gets the stat sheet after the game and posts it online. I remember Peyton Cook had 16, and 16 of our 27, so there wasn't much scoring left to go. And if I remember right, Lincoln Custer had 15 or 16 points himself. After being held to 3 early on, he finally heated up, hit a few threes there in the row.
Yeah, really carried him in the second half especially. I thought those two threes to make it 9 early in the third quarter just was kind of a dagger for us, and offensively we just couldn't get on track. They bottled up Cookie after a while, although he ended finished with 16 or so, but 4 or 6 of those were from the free throw line in the second half. So, back to the drawing board on offense, because we've got to figure out, because these games are like this, Mount Zion's going to do the same thing again. They're going to switch defenses. They're going to make it hard. They're going to make us think, and we've got to be able to kind of accommodate on the fly. We got to figure it out.
We talked about this. You want to play aggressive and you want to play smart, but one thing I think may be a difference in this team versus last year's team, and we talked about this, Muhammad Seymour just literally beat us up, especially in the regional championship game over at their place. But we've got some guys we can kind of throw on the floor that got a little bit of strength themselves. And I'm thinking, tonight of Trey Schilling, Drew Hayes, guys like that who can get out there and will get up in your chest, will get up in your face, and bump you if you bump them.
Well, if they didn't remember that from Muhammad game in the regional championship, and the referees tend to let them play a little bit more than they used to. I think you can watch in college. I don't watch the pros that much, but you can watch it in college, and they let you play. There's a lot of physicality going on during the game, and the Railers, I thought, adapted to some of that on the defensive end, but it's got to be some subtle things. You've got to be able to put your forearm into to their side. You got to hang and claw when you can, and I thought in the second half, late in the fourth quarter, we started to be aggressive, but it was kind of blatant, and we've got to figure out a way to play a little more physical, especially on defense, and get up and bother people.
Well, again, Lincoln goes down 36-27 here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Lincoln will play on Friday night against Belleville-Altoff, and I will grab the schedule and check the time for you folks. We will have that game here on WLCN 96.3 FM. That is an 8:15 game here at Roy S. Anderson. If you can't get enough basketball on Friday, you can come out here and get it, because it'll be 4 games out here on Friday. Cahokia Mount Zion will be the opener. Then it'll be Muhammad Seymour and Danville, Belleville West against Champaign Centennial, and Lincoln against Belleville-Altoff. Well, Josh, I'll tell you what, let's send it back to the station for a 2-minute timeout, and we'll come back with more of the Schneider Chiropractic Ground Incorporated postgame show.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
Jay Hart and Josh Comnick back here on the Ground Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic postgame show as we wait for Neil Alexander to come over and give us his postgame comments. Josh, I'm sure Coach isn't very happy, but again, as we talked about, I think we had opportunities in this game. We did cut the lead down, and then we kind of let it get away from us, and we had other opportunities in the third quarter. In fact, during the third quarter, there was a stretch there where we just kind of each team traded turnovers and missed shots. Nobody scored a point.
Well, you can tell it's second game of the year, and you get to practice. Coach has double sessions, so you're practicing in the morning, going through offense and full practice in the afternoon, but not a lot of time against another team. And when they throw different defenses at you on the fly, and it's tough to figure it out, as early in the year as it is. So I hope that, that's a learning experience. They'll figure that out, I'm sure, through repetition and playing more games. But we've got to shoot the ball a little bit better. Custer was big with the threes, obviously, and they didn't bother us inside. Their big guy was out for tonight in the game, so that didn't bother us. It was just the timely shots from Custer, lack of communication, figuring out where he is, and then give him some credit. He hit some big ones.
Yeah, I don't think. Mount Zion, I think we can say played hard, and I think our kids played. The Lincoln kids played hard too. I think both teams played hard out there. But they may have just executed a little bit better than we did. They got some shots that we didn't get. We had guys had shots go in and out, and maybe you hit a couple here, there, you get some momentum back, you get a stop, and maybe you really start cutting back into that lead.
Well, there was, if you can go back and look at the tape, what was the distance in time from the time we made a three to the next time we made a three? Quarters almost.
Oh, yes, it was. And I was thinking Trey Schilling had a three, I think, in the first quarter, or sometime during the first half, and then Aiden Gowan got a three. Was it late in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter that Aiden Gowan got a three? We probably went 15, 16 minutes at least.
You talk about the opposite. Custer hits a couple almost in a row two times. He hits two back-to-back in the third quarter, and I think he had a couple there in the second quarter that it gets emotion going, gets your team going. Obviously, that's 6 quick points, and when you only put up, 26? 27. 6 points in a hurry is a lot. So, that was a difference, I think, just losing track of him and give him some credit for knocking him down.
Coach Alexander and his large Diet Coke, extra large Diet Coke, have made their way up to the broadcast position. And he's just now noticed that I look different than Scott Kirby tonight. So we'll get Coach set up. And Coach Neil Alexander has joined us. Coach, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to. What are your comments here on the postgame show? I thought your team played hard, and I thought they had opportunities in the third quarter. They just didn't capitalize on them.
Well, they were tougher than we were, just tougher than we were, and that bothers me because I thought we had a pretty tough team. And what they did was they got into us. They wouldn't let us stand and shoot. Every shot we took was a quick shot, and we talk about it every day in practice about working a game-type shots, and that's a good example. The kids, we were rushed. I don't know what we shot, but I think we made 2 threes and probably shot 32. And you got to make those. And we had some good looks. They were just a little bit quicker. And, I think we got tied up into being more trying to push and shove and there's a way to be aggressive and be strong. But when you think you have to go out push and shove, that's not the way can stay focused on the game and make things happen. So, we got a lot of things to work on. That's why you play these games. You play good teams. We were running straight to the wing, trying to get open, and they denied it, and we couldn't even enter the ball. And our timing on offense, give them credit. Their defense was very, very good. They were aggressive and physical and bumped us and held us, and we wouldn't do the things that we have to do to get open.
Coach, each year it seems to change and get a little more physical, especially on the defensive end. Is that something that you can work on and practice? I talked about it, Jay, is sometimes you can hold, you can put your forearm into them a little bit, and they seem to not call that as much. Is that something that you can work on and practice and get these guys to maybe be a little more physical on defense and not so blunt with some of the activity?
We try. I mean, we tell the guys, get your forearm on them, push them for two things: more pressure, but you also make the ball handler be able to handle the ball with somebody physical on you. And tonight was a perfect example of that. But they're a good basketball team, plus the fact that they were playing without two starters really makes them good.
Well, and two, the gaps of our threes, like you said, we made two. Custer got loose a couple times, miscommunication, didn't know where he was, and the quickness in minute-wise by his threes. He hit them back-to-back, which makes a big swing in a low-scoring game like this.
We got the game down to 3 and had the ball, turned the ball over, boom. They come down and hit it. We go right back down, turn it over. Just back-to-back 3, and then just like you said, it goes from a 3-point game to a 9-point game. And when you're playing a low game, 9 points is a lot of points.
Very well scouted by Mount Zion, too. I know you played them, obviously, the last couple of years and then this summer, but it almost looked like they were rotating defenses depending on what lineup you had on the court. I think when Keon was out there, they were going zone because it was hard for him to see over the top. And then when we brought some other guys in that were shooters, they got up in us and man. So they did a good job of switching offenses, and we got to do a little bit better job of learning on the fly.
Yeah, and we also got to behave better. We got to know and understand. And there's a lot of talking that'll happen tomorrow morning about how the game went tonight and everything. So it's a progress. I mean we got a lot of work.
Good thing it's second game of the year.
Yeah, and you find out what you got to work on. We don't want to wait to see this in 1st of February where we don't have time to cure the problem, and whether we can cure it or not, I don't know. You have to have some toughness, and you have to understand what you got to do to get open.
I thought Drew Hayes gave you some good minutes tonight. He seemed to get his hands on a lot of basketballs and played fairly aggressively, maybe without being overly aggressive, because I don't remember he had many fouls, if any, tonight.
I don't remember him getting any either, but he was aggressive, and we got to make shots, and I think we had some good looks at the basket, and you just have to make them.
Yeah, big difference. Custer makes a couple there, and it gives them a little momentum. And like I said, the time span between our threes were so long, we just didn't have anything.
I thought maybe, and I don't know, after Monday, I felt really good about our offense. We scored 69 points, and that's more than we've scored in, 2 years? And then we come back and do this here. And I'm not sure we were focused and understood how important this game was.
Well, Coach, you've got Belleville Althoff coming up Friday night. Can you tell us much about them before Friday night's game?
They're going to play up and down the floor. They want to run the floor. They're going to pressure you. And, if you remember last year, we had a 20-point lead. And if people just let us play and come down, run offense, and do our thing, we're a pretty good basketball team. But when you start getting up into us and forcing us to play, I think we're better this year at it. But that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to get up on the full court and try to make us play fast.
Well, Coach, we're going to let you go. Anything else you want to add before you head out?
No, I thought the crowd was great. I'm disappointed in how we really got after it. But, again, it's second game.
Second game of the year. Well, we got Thanksgiving tomorrow, something to look forward to. You can lay around the house and watch football all day tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I don't know if it'll be football.
All right, thanks, Coach, for coming up and joining us on the postgame show. Neil Alexander on the postgame show. His team unfortunately goes to 1-1 on the year and 0-1 in the Apollo Conference. So that's going to wrap it up here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. For station manager Jim Ashford, Joe Lee, thank you for running the board so expertly back at the station. For our producer, engineer, and ace cameraman Lloyd Kirby. For my broadcast partner Josh Connick, this is Jay Harden. Lincoln unfortunately goes down tonight 36-27 to Mount Zion. We'll see you Friday night at 8:15 here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Thanks for listening and good night.
WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com present Lincoln Community High School Rail Splitter Basketball. WLCN's live stream video coverage of Railer basketball is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Me Realty, locally owned and operated. Me Realty is Logan County's top producing real estate agency year after year. Call 217-735-5424 or browse listings online at merealty.com. Culver's of Lincoln, home of the Butterburger. Stop by before or after the game, located at 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Heartland Community College is Lincoln's community college. At Heartland, you'll get the personal attention and support you need to be a successful student. Discover Heartland, discover your future. Visit heartland.edu/Lincoln. Schneider Masonry, family owned and operated in Central Illinois with over 40 years of experience, serving builders, contractors, and homeowners. Free estimates available. Call 217-314-9654. Blades Nail and Hair Salon, located at 241 Madigan Drive in Lincoln, offering salon services for hair, skincare, waxing, nails, lashes, and brows. Go online to bladeshairandnailsalon.com or call 217-732-7213. Thank you for watching WLCN's coverage of Lincoln Community High School Rail Splitter Basketball. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.